It's time for the League Lowdown! Yo, insiders, drop everything and lock in. You're now tuned into the League Lowdown, episode number 9. I'm your host, Coach Mayhem, and riding shotgun with me with the hottest takes in the game, my co-host, the one and only Suburban One Insiders, OG.
Yo, Mayhem. Great to be back for another week of action-packed high school football and hot takes.
Hot takes and hot takes. All right, OG, you trying to feed the squad and roast them at the same time?
Let's go.
Episode 9's already cooking. Let's flip this script and break down the final week of high school football in the Suburban One League.
CDS Wealth Management is a proud sponsor of the League Lowdown.
Rivalry week came and went with some high scores and some instant classics. Speaking of high scores, Council Rock South straight up dominated Rock North 49-0 to claim the Unity Cup, capped an undefeated conference run for the Continental Championship, and locked in the number 5 seed in districts. The Golden Hawks are red hot on an 8-game winning streak since their only blemish in week 2 against North Penn.
Woo, Mayhem. Those Hawks are shredding competition. Meanwhile, Plymouth Whitemarsh keeps their crown locked up, stomping William Tennant 42-15 to clinch the American Conference for 5 straight years. Colonials are on a 6-game heater, and junior beast Michael Giangiulio already has 1,265 yards and 17 touchdowns. Kids eating defenses for breakfast.
Speaking of breakfast, Lower Moreland straight up feasted, dropping 50-6 on the New Hope Salisbury. Lions finished 6-4, but get snubbed from the 4A playoffs. Strength of schedule, my friend. Strength of schedule. Meanwhile, 2-8 New Hope draws the short straw. Next up, number 1 seeded Bristol from the Bicentennial, rocking an 8-2 record, and they're ready to pounce.
Good luck with that. Talk about a mic drop. Bensalem sneaks to a 500 record with a clean 31-13 dub over Truman, finishing 5-5. While individual accolades don't carry as much weight as the playoff spot, congratulations goes to Aidan Mayfield from Bensalem, who became Bensalem's all-time leading rusher with 3,112 yards. Both squads now punch out straight to the weight room and the film grind for next season. Off-season starts now. But by the way, check out on X Aidan Mayfield's highlights from this year. Extremely impressive.
Yes, they were. North Penn dropped a 50-piece on Abington. Final score was 56-13. Pure domination. Jack Silvers rushing for 2 touchdown. He had 2 tackles for loss and a fumble recovery. Beast mode. Navy commit Matt Pownell, had 2 touchdowns. He had over 100 yards. This kid is just unstoppable. And the sophomore Riley Gray had the pick 6, made a house call. And the TD party, OG, Matt Buxar, Cam Maynor, Jack Weidenmiller, and Zion Smith, they all cashed in. Knight said, night-night, early.
Night. You're funny. All right, having still waking up for that nightmare. But speaking of sleepovers, Wissahickon threw a 56-14 pajama party on Springfield Township. And Penridge, they closed the CB gauntlet with just 1 L, but bounced back against CB East and then sealed it with a 28-7 dub over CB South. No 5-way tie drama in that league in the National Crown. I spent last week trying to figure out how the SOL would pay for 4 additional trophies for the 5-way tie, but it's now just Penridge Trophy to celebrate with.
Absolutely. That's Rams royalty. Penridge claims the national all to themselves. No split, no debate. Huge shout out to head coach Kyle Beller on his first conference title. Penridge fan, he's earned it. Now it's time to lock in for the playoff, that real hunt. starts now. Speaking of hunting, my alma mater, the Upper Moreland Golden Bears, they mauled our arch rivals, Hatboro Horsham, 41-13. Had their season, lights out. Meanwhile, UM punching their ticket to the 5A playoffs, OG, as the number 13 seed. Go Bears.
All right, Neshaminy slammed the door on Pennsbury with a 35-14 dub. The Falcons stumbled to a rare 1-9 season, while the 7-3 Skins slide in the 6A district playoffs as the number 11 seed. And guess what? Rematch alert coming. More on that later.
Yep. Finally, Quakertown got their homecoming. Though they fell short 32-19 to undefeated Chester, they fought tooth and nail. Panthers wrap up 4-6. But Thanksgiving versus Penridge, that's locked. Circle it.
All right, next up, Souderton, 8-2, and clipped Upper Dublin's wings 35-7 last Friday night. Big Red rolls into the 6A District 1 playoffs as the number 7 seed. Upper Dublin drops to 4-6, but strength of schedule carries them, and they've earned the 16th seed in 5A against undefeated number 1 5A Springfield Delco. Woof, that's a heck of a team to play, even though it's just a lacrosse school.
Yeah, that Turkey Day vibe is electric. Records don't matter. But a deep run in the Rams for the Rams might hamper that. Who knows? But you know what? Time will tell, and probably they're just going to play it. Playoffs. Solderton, number 17, man, hosting number 10 Ridley. Upper Dublin, number 16. Brett Stover's walking into the Lions Den, I think, man. But I've seen that card squad up close, OG. Like I said, that Dylan Moody 4 interception evening coming out party. That talent is real on that. And I'm going to do this 10 toes down. If a team could shock the world, I'm riding with Brett Stover and company. But I digress. Man, in my game of the week, CB East and West, all the smoke, all the hype, and West delivered. Doylestown went nuclear, OG. CB West edged crosstown rival CB East 28-21. 8 straight win in the series. CB Cup comes home to CB West. Bucks finish out 7-3, tied for second in the national. And they snag that number 6 seed. Home playoff game incoming, Doylestown. Hey, OG, Louis Sapolo is a name to remember, my friend. The junior freak rushed for 200-plus yards, 2 touchdowns, then ices it with a game-sealing interception with 57 seconds left on the clock. Head coach Rob Rowan, after the game, said, not verbatim, but it was basically the best game of Louis' career, both on offense and defense. And you know what? Sapolo, post-game, humble as ever. He concentrated on a bounce-back W after, previously close losses, talking about his line, how they opened up the holes, how the fans were loud. Absolutely loved it. For those that weren't there, here's what went down, all right? East strikes first. Pulford gets that 1-yard touchdown, all right? West answers back. Josh George to Mason Darrow's 45-yard bomb. Man, all right, so now we're tied up. Then Louis Sapolo had an 11-yard scamper, makes it 14-7. All right, then Pulford ties it back up at 14 apiece. All right. Nick Miletto, the big beast, number 42, barrels his way through for a 6-yarder, making it 21-14 at halftime. All right. I was shocked. I was like, wow, this is an amazing game. Third quarter came. It was all defense. But finally, Pulford, instead of running one end, he pulls one up, finds Ruben Bell Jr. for a 15-yard passing touchdown, knocks that game up 21-21. And then we had fourth quarter drama. Louis Sapolo, 43-yard direct snap, house call, 28-21. All right. And then East, all right, we're not dead yet. East marches. We get a penalty. All right. Capitalize. They go for the deep shot. All right. They could win. Who's there? Louis Sapolo picks it off, interception, ball game. West lines up, victory formation, and the clock hits 0. Man, let me tell you, as a spectator, I just stood there on the field and soaked it all in. You know, we had kids crying, students rushing the field from West Side. The community was pure electricity, man. And I just want to take the moment to thank the CB communities for letting me cover nights like this on a regular basis. And while I couldn't have chosen, I could have chosen a different bunch for all their efforts. CDS Wealth Players of the Game honors are going to go to Louis Sapolo, my MVP of the game. He stole the show, man. Both sides of the ball. It's just crazy. Mason Darrows is also, he took home I had a TD catch and he went perfect on those PATs, which in high school can be crucial. We all know this. And Nick Miletto, he had 2 rushing touchdowns, and he anchored a defense that just would not give up. They bend, that scored, but they keep their team in it.
Man, makes me want to throw on the pads again. It's been quite a few years, but I think I got at least one play left in me. Anyways, let's take a timeout on the field and go to a commercial break.
Today's episode is brought to you by our sponsor, CDS Wealth Management. Growing generational wealth through college and retirement planning shouldn't be complicated. At CDS Wealth Management, rest assured that you are more than a client. You are a foundation for a legacy to be built upon. Allow our team to cater to your family's legacy by starting with a free consultation at www.cdswealth.com.
Welcome back, insiders. The District 1 fields are set. We're talking playoff ball before OG drops his history lesson. That'll tie everything in together.
Playoffs? We're talking playoffs? All right, finally, let's get going with these playoff games. We've been talking about them for weeks.
All right. Settle down, OG. We all been waiting. Let's kick it off with our lone two-way school. 2-8, New Hope Soulberry faces 8-2 Bristol. The Warriors this Saturday, November 1st. Winner advances to face off a District 12 survivor because, unfortunately, numbers and school sizes, only 2 teams per district. The Lions are currently averaging 10.7 points per game on offense while yielding 32.9. So on the defensive side of the ball, they got a tall task ahead as Bristol's averaging 32.6 points per game, and they're only yielding 15 points per game on the defensive side of the ball. So it's going to be a tough task.
All right, speaking of those smaller schools, let's talk about Springfield Monco 4A. They sneak in at 4-5 as the number 4 seed thanks to their strength of schedule. Lower Moreland, however, was 6-4. They got left out. Springfield Township heads to number 1 Pope John Paul II at 9-1. David versus Goliath in round 1. In 9 games, the Spartans are averaging 22 points a game on offense while yielding 29 on defense. The Spartan offensive attack is led by junior Nathan Torrealba, who's thrown for 1,154 yards and 15 tutties. He also has 496 on the yard. Junior Zaire Small has rushed for about 827 yards and 11 touchdowns. Sophomore Makai Pascal leads the receiving corps with 425 yards and 4 TDs. This is a young team with a transfer quarterback who plays against schools almost double in size. Next year, this team's going to be really, really good.
Absolutely, I agree with you on that one. In 5A, moving on up, 3 out of the 5 Suburban 1 League teams that we cover made the cut. Number 5, Wissahickon, who finished 9-1. Number 13, my alma mater, Upper Moreland, they finished 6-4. And like we said earlier, number 16 seed, Upper Dublin, who finished the regular season at 4-6. But again, showing why strength of schedule matters.
Absolutely. Wissahickon draws number 12 Unionville, who's 6-4. These Trojans are firing on all cylinders. They're averaging nearly 37 points a game and only giving up 17. They have a plethora of talent on this team. The quarterback, Evan Tolme, has been lights out. I don't know much about Unionville, except they're the Longhorns. Sorry, I only got SOL knowledge.
Yeah, and speaking of knowledge, Tony has been lights out. He's got over 1,800 passing yards on the season, but more on that later. Upper Moreland, 6-4, is traveling to number 4 Strathaven, who's 8-2. Panthers lost only to Springfield Delco, a 6A Ridley. That's a tough sledding for Adam Beach and his Golden Bears. The Bears are a rather young team and are averaging 29 points per game, and their defense is yielding 16.6 to opposing offenses. To tell you how good that is, they finished third in the American behind PW and WIS. Stats aren't really available for the Bears. It's something Adam Beach doesn't really keep track of anymore, but they do have some impact players on both sides of the ball. Senior Justin Valentine, dude is 5'6" and 195 pounds. Plays middle linebacker and fullback. Yep, I said it, fullback. He packs a punch on both sides of the ball. Looks like a hit stick when he hits you. Kid's got 14 touchdowns on the season though, so he's not a lightweight. Elijah Davis, another standout on the offense, 5'10", a little slender, you know. You got him, the slender back, and then Valentine, the Thunder and Lightning combo. Kid, he's got 11 touchdowns, and he excels on the defensive side of the ball. He had a pick in the game I went to this season against Rock North. He's a target for first year. Oh, yeah, and how can I forget 6'5" Larry Hughes, who won Player of the Year in the American Conference, who's number 1 target of QB1 David Adamski. Excuse me, I always mess that kid's name up. The Bears also have on special teams Temple Luke Sword handling kicking duties, so they got a good team, but that's going to be a tough task for going to Strathaven.
Always is. They've been really good for a really, really long time. Back to the Dan Connor era. All right, our final 5A matchup is number 16 Upper Dublin at Springfield Delco. Upper Dublin's averaging almost 20 points a game, but allowing 21. Junior Lawson Tyler has completed 54% of his passes for 1,548 yards and 11 touchdowns. Senior Ronald Shepard is only in only 6 games has almost 600 yards and on 106 carries. Second on the team is rushing is sophomore George Stein, who carried the ball 72 times for 372 yards, 5 touchdowns. The defense is led by senior Shane Greenberg, who currently has 102 total tackles and 2 picks. Junior Tyler O'Sullivan is second on the team with 77 total tackles and a sack. Dylan Moody leads the team with 4 picks. Good luck to head coach Brett Stover and the Flying Cardinals.
All right, time out on the field, OG. Let's hydrate and hear from our sponsors before we break down that coveted 6A.
CDS Wealth Management is a proud sponsor of the League LowDown.
Welcome back, insiders. 6A has 7 SOL teams in the 16-team field, which is pretty amazing. I like those chances. And we got Halloween, Friday Night Lights. Spooky.
Yep, matchup number 1. Conference champions are going to collide. Number 1 Penridge are 9-1 versus number 16 Plymouth Whitemarsh at 7-3. You got the National Conference champions going head-to-head against the American Conference champions. The Rams are averaging 27 points per game in that stingy defense, anchored by Princeton commit Ryan Rowe, 13.4 points they're yielding. Marist commit Noah Keating's completed 58% of his passes for 1,145 yards and 12 touchdowns. He's also added 277 yards and, wait for it, 9 TDs on the ground. Watch out.
Yeah. He doesn't need a push from behind either with his 6'4" frame.
There's no tush push on a 6'4". His top targets, definitely Sean Luthi, who's caught 25 balls for 455 yards and 2 tutties. Will Doherty and Ryan Rowe, the Princeton commit, like I said, those two lead the Rams' backfield. Doherty rushing 91 times for 572 yards and 4 touchdowns, while Rowe 85 times for 532 yards and 6 touchdowns. On the defensive side of the ball, man, Blake Landher, 77 total tackles, and the kid's got 11 and a half tackles for loss. That's outstanding. Ryan Rowe, 69 total tackles. He's second on the defense. All right. On the other side of the ball, we got Plymouth Whitemarsh. They're averaging 32.9 points per game while only allowing 19.6. Their quarterback, Cole Riley, kids completed 54%, 612 yards, not as much. We know PW, we don't pass the ball as much. 7 touchdowns, only 2 interceptions. And guess what? Another one who can run. 536 rushing yards, 10 touchdowns. And we can't forget Michael Giangiulio, 1,265 yards, 17 touchdowns. It's outstanding. On the defensive side of the ball, they got Alexander Kriebel. Kid's got 70 total tackles. And let's not forget Amir Butler, the freak, 14 tackles for loss, 7 sacks. He's leading PW with 7 sacks. Dangerous. I'm telling you, the kid is dangerous. He's so fast. So 6'4", 215 pounds. Solid muscle, OG. Solid muscle. And Mike Bongard is leading the team with 5 interceptions. And guess what? The winner, they face off against the winner of number 8 Downingtown East or number 9 Springford, which Soderton beat earlier to start the year off. So that could be exciting. Good luck to both squads.
All right, matchup number 2, we got Rock South at 9-1 versus Haverford with the boringest nickname ever, the Fords, at 7-3. Golden Hawks are scoring almost 30 points a game, only allowing 12. They're on an 8-game winning streak with their only loss to North Penn in week 2, and they could have won that game. Offensively, they're led by sophomore Marley Emerson at quarterback. Haverford comes in scoring 31 points a game and giving up just 12. I see this as a really, really close game.
All right. It could be. It could be a very close game. I agree with you. Yeah, they got Nate Sidlick on the defensive side of the ball. The Golden Hawks have a really stout team. Anthony Semino, number 77, kid's a beast. They got some really good players. Head coach CJ Sidlick and the Golden Hawks are absolutely just tearing it up right now. Look forward to seeing how they do. In our next matchup number 3, we got North Penn at 8-2 versus number 15 Boyertown, the Bears. They're 6-4.
Can I call timeout real quick? I just want to give props to you because after North Penn lost to Penridge, you said North Penn's going to win out the rest of their games. You got that correct, sir. Great job, Mayhem.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Hey, sometimes you get it right, you know. Speaking of North Penn, they're led by QB Matt Buxar. His kid's completed 57% of his passes for 1,253 yards and 12 touchdowns. Navy commit Matt Pownell, who has carried the rock 130 times. These guys split the offense up, man. They share the ball. He's got 700 yards. He's had another 270 yards receiving on 23 catches. And then that weapon, Riley Gray, the young man, he's carried the ball about 102 times, so, you know, slightly less, 644 yards. Their deep threat wide receiver, Mason Frenick, he ended the year so far, or totaled so far 29 catches for 449 yards. And from what I'm being told, you know, defensively, Jacob Garrett, Nate Shepard, and Jack Silvers lead the Knights in tackles. Boyertown is definitely a run-first team. They're averaging 17 points per game offensively, while the defense is giving up about, well, like 18 and a half. Should be a great battle, but I expect the Knights to prevail.
All right, here's the matchup I teased earlier. It's a revenge game. Neshaminy beat West earlier this year, 28-18. Friday night, number 6 West, who's 7-3, is going to play number 11 Neshaminy, who's 7-3. Think about that. The 6th seed and the 11th seed both have the same record. They're in the same conference, and there's a distant 5 seed difference. So I talked to Coach Rowan after the first game between these two schools. He said that typically his West teams have struggled down at Heartbreak Ridge. That happens to a lot of teams, right? But this is a revenge game, and it's at War Memorial Field in Doylestown. That place is going to be crazy. The Neshaminy travels very, very well. I think they are enjoying having a new coach, and they're getting accustomed to what he's doing offensively and defensively. But I think that this is going to be a heck of a rematch game. We'll see how it turns out.
Yeah, man, these guys have been lights out. Both squads have been great. Neshaminy, their starting quarterback's thrown for 2,030 yards and 33 touchdowns. They actually have one of, I'd say, a really balanced attack. Carter Clee, their running back. But then on the other side of the ball, West, a known running team, they can pull it up and throw one on you. Josh George proved that last week. Caught CBE slipping and hit him for a 45-yarder. All right, so our final matchup, our 6A playoff matchup, we have Solderton at 8-2, number 7 team, versus they're going to be hosting number 10 Ridley, who is also 8-2. Both squads are ready to go. Solderton comes out of the Continental, while Ridley's playing out of the Central League. What I do know about the Raiders, they opened up their season with a loss to our CB East Patriots and ended their regular season with a loss to Garnet Valley last weekend. Man, in between, 8 straight victories. Most impressive came when they beat those Haverford Fords 14-0, who, as you saw, is our 12th seed 3 weeks ago. Keep an eye on Ridley. They are only giving up 8 points a game, and they're scoring 30. So they, as far as the Big Red goes, their only losses have come against number 5 Council Rock South and number 6 Central Bucks West. Saudi's led by senior quarterback Ben Walsh. Ben, he's completed 66% of his passes. He's very persistent. I like it. He's very accurate. For 1,350 yards with 12 passing touchdowns. And these guys, they share the ball again, another team that runs, and they do share it. They got a 4-headed monster. Agent Zero, Jared Higginbotham, 82 carries, 405 yards, 2 tutties. Mujana Sudi, 32 carries, 389 yards, 8 tutties. And by the way, that's about 12 yards a carry. Don't touch it a lot, but 12 yards a stick. I like it. Michael McCormick, one of their senior leaders, 70 carries, 321 yards, 5 touchdowns. And Caleb Moyer, kid's got 37 carries, so not much. They share the ball, 248 yards and 6 touchdowns. The 4 of them, that's 1,363 yards and 21 touchdowns. All right, that's you don't know who's carrying the and I watched them. All 4 backs are different in style and size. Higginbotham, 5'6" and about 155 pounds. Then you've got Michael McCormick, who is a stout, maybe 5'10", 231 pounds, and in between 6'2", 215-pound Moyer. It's just, and then Sudi is a slender guy, so the team is they got some weapons, man. Senior wideouts, all right. This is just the running backs. Now we got to worry about our wideouts. Hunter Smelts in a run first offense, 37 catches, 617 yards. He only had 3 touchdowns, but we know why. Timmy Meehan on the other side hauled in 22 passes for 348 yards and 6 touchdowns. All right, on the defensive side of the ball, Meehan leads the defense with 79 total tackles, while senior Jimmy Eakins, the team with 7 sacks. And I will say this, again, the defense likes to share, I guess. 7 players are tied with 1 interception apiece on that back end. The winner plays number 15 Boyertown versus number 2 North Penn in next week's quarterfinals. That'll definitely be a game for sure, especially if it's Solderton and North Penn. All right, OG, hit us with that history lesson, I promise, that ties us all right back on in to what we've been talking about. the playoffs.
All right, so I just want to give, excuse me, a recap of where things are with our teams and the last time that they were in the playoffs. Let's start out with Springfield Monco. In 2024, they were the number 2 seed, beat Shanahan, and then lost to Pope John Paul in the finals. All right, Penridge, last time they were District 1 overall number 1 seed was in 2020. They beat Coatesville in round 1 and lost to Souderton in the District 1 finals. It didn't matter who won that game because they were playing St. Joe's Prep the next week. The last playoff appearance for Penridge was 2021, and the Rams fell to West 19-17. That was a bitter cold night. I was down at that game. All right, PW, the number 8 seed last year, they beat Souderton in the first round. Then lost to CB South in round 2. We know that South then lost in the semifinals to North Penn. New Hope Solbury, they seem to be on a cycle here. They were the number 4 seed last year, and they lost to Bristol. Probably a repeat this year. North Penn made it to the District 1 finals last year, coming out as the number 4 seed. Right, so they were lower seeded last year than they are this year. They lost to Downingtown West in those finals. CB West lost to Downingtown West in the semifinals last year, as they were the number 3 seed going in. The Neshaminy was the 10th seed last year. They were upset. Not really upset, but I would consider an upset with OJ Roberts out of the pack beating them. Council Rock South hasn't been in the playoffs in a couple of years. Last time they were in was 2023. They were the 11th seed and they lost to Downingtown West. Why does everybody lose to Downingtown West? Oh yeah, they're really good. Souderton was the 11th seed last year. They lost to PW in the first round. Wissahickon, our longest out of the playoff team, they have not been in since 2020. They lost to Ruston in the first round. Upper Moreland was the 10th seed last year, lost to Chester in the first round. And Upper Dublin was the 6th seed last year. They won their first 2 rounds, but lost to Ruston in the semifinals. So I know every year is a new year and there's kids that graduate, but these teams right now seem pretty special. I think that we're going to see some really, really positive outcomes from the SOL leading up to next week's games for round 2.
I couldn't agree more with you, my friend. Congrats to Wissahickon, being the longest team in, I guess, their longest drought, but I guess not bad since it was only 5 years ago. But all right, before we get out of here, man, let's do it. Why not? You talked me into it. Playoff pick'em. Let's go.
All right, let's do this. All right, first up, Boyertown at North Penn. Who do you got?
Taking North Penn. That's easy.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you on that one. I think Boyertown started out pretty strong, but once they got into their conference, didn't have a very good second half of the season. Up next, revenge game, the Neshaminy at West. Who you got?
Yeah, I definitely, it's at War Memorial. I know Neshaminy had a comfortable 10-point win last time. That atmosphere is going to be electric. I mean, East was crazy, but West at War Memorial, Doylestown, it's going to be exciting. I'm going Central Bucks West. Definitely take that one. But it's going to be close. I think it's going to be close.
All right, so you think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be an odd-numbered 7-point Buck win. All right, so a little off-center on their rack there, but I think West is going to win by a touchdown. All right, next up, 6A, Haverford going to Council Rock South. Who you got?
Haverford's coming in, traveling on the road. We got against a hot, undefeated at home Council Rock South team who is 9-1, who only lost to North Penn. All right, and that was in week 2. And from what I've been told, I was not at the game. Some questionable calls were made, and South could have won that game. So I'm picking Council Rock South here on this one. I really do think that the Hawks are gonna take this one.
I'm gonna say flag on the play. I know people are gonna be upset. I'm gonna go with Haverford, right? And the only reason I'm gonna go with Haverford is that everybody knows in March Madness there's always a 5-12 upset. I think Haverford has shown that they can really do some good things on the football field. That's no slouch in Council Rock South. I think they're a really, really high quality team. I hope I'm wrong, but I'm going to go with Haverford in this game. All right, PW at Penn Ridge, 7-3 versus 9-1.
Man, you got American Conference champion who started the season off like 2-3, and it was like, oh man, they're gonna. What do they do? 5 years running undefeated through the American, but then you got 9-1 Penn Ridge. Penn Ridge is too hot. It's not happening. I really do think Penn Ridge is going to could be the district's representative in the state playoff at 6A. That's my thing. So I'm going PW is going to lose to Penn Ridge, and I think it's going to be by 2 touchdowns.
All right, this is a tough one for me to pick. I've got a long history with PW going back to my playing days. I've got probably 7 former teammates of mine from college that are PW guys that might be tuning in to watch this. I know that they're not going to be happy, but I am worried that Penn Ridge's defense is going to have to stop a triple option. The weather is going to be a big factor for all these games on Friday night with 22 to 30 mile an hour winds, a little crisp fall night. I think Penn Ridge is going to be prepared. I think they're going to physically do some really positive things up front. It's going to come down to can they read their keys to stop that option. And I am going to pick Penn Ridge, but I think it's going to be a rather close game.
I agree with you here that it's going to be a close game, and I do say this: my pick is based on not seeing PW this year. As we know, my schedule changed, and I did see Penn Ridge. The PW's attack and Michael Giangiulio, they seem like they're the real deal. So we shall see, But yeah, I agree. That Penn Ridge defense, man, is just locked down.
Yeah. All right, we're going to go to the last 6A game, and then we'll go 5A, 4A. We got Ridley at Souderton.
Man, Ridley is a really good team. Coming from someone who reported outside of the suburban one for many a year, I know what kind of team Ridley is, even regardless of losing to a non-playoff making East. But let's be real, look at all the teams that East plays against,
Yeah.
National. Souderton's really hot this year, and I think they have a 4-year starter, just like Penn Ridge. They have a 4-year starter at quarterback in Ben Walsh. So I'm going Souderton.
I agree with you on that one. I'm going to go with Souderton. I think that Ridley is a really good football team. I really do. I think I read enough articles this week about things down in Delaware County. I think that they are a really, really solid football team. I know that they did cause some issues with East. It was a very close game. But I think that Souderton is battle tested. They got shut out against CB West, which scares me that a really, really good defense can shut down that offense. But I think that Souderton's going to sneak out with a win and set up a very interesting matchup with North Penn next week.
Mm-hmm.
All right. 5A, we got Upper Dublin at Springfield Delco.
Another Davis versus Goliath, in my opinion. Like I said, though, 10 toes down. If there was a team to make an upset, while I do go with the March Madness 5-12 theory, Upper Dublin would be the team to do it. But I'm not betting against Springfield Delco. It's just not happening.
No, I think Springfield Delco's for real. Things that I'm seeing online and reading about, I'm like, they got a bunch of studs on this team, and they're going to make some waves through this whole 5A tournament. So I'm going Springfield Delco. We got Upper Moreland and Strathaven.
All right, Upper Moreland, third place in the American, coming in 6-4. Strathaven 8-2. This is a daunting task for Coach Adam Beach and company. Not saying that they can't do it. I would not want to be head coaching this game. It's going to be a rough one. But you know what? I know Upper Moreland is going to give it everything that they got, and it's going to be a smash mouth game. It's definitely going to be a smash mouth game. I'm gonna have to go Strathaven on this one though.
Yeah, I know Upper Moreland's your alma mater, so it's hard to pick them. Strathaven by 3 touchdowns. They're gonna put the wood to them, no doubt about it. Unionville at Wissahickon. Ooh,
interesting. I know Wiss is 9-1. Unionville being 6-4. I actually got to watch Unionville play Upper Dublin last year in the playoffs, and most of those kids are coming back. So that's gonna be a really tight game. But I don't think I can pick against my boys, the Wissahickon Trojans, this week. I'm not going against my SOL teams. Wissahickon by 2.
Oof. I think that's a lot closer than I think it's going to be. I've said this before. I'm a huge fan of Jim Cairns there, the AD at Wissahickon. He's one of the great human beings in this SOL conference. And I think that coaches at Wissahickon have the boys ready. I'm going to say they're going to win by at least 10, if not more. I think it's going to be home cooking that night. All right, last game. Second to last game. We got Springfield Monco 4-5 at Pope John Paul II, 9-1. Friday night, 7:00. It's going to be good.
Springfield is battle tested. The lone 4A team playing amongst the 5 and 6A'ers, in the American Conference, the conference that I despise because there's such disparities. But I still love it, I'm definitely gonna have to say PJP is definitely gonna take this one. They're always good. I don't know much about them this year. They're always dominant. Last year they had some really great players that are doing great things in college right now. So I'm going PJP on that one.
All right. I agree with that one wholeheartedly. I don't think it's even going to be close. I think PJP is going to run them out of town. Sorry, guys. The Springfield, you've had your ups and downs. You started out really well, had some injuries. Maybe you're getting some guys back, but I don't think this is going to be much of a ball game. But we'll see. All right, we got a Saturday night game.
Saturday.
New Hope Soulbury 2-8 at Bristol 8-2.
Yeah, I'm not going against the Warriors. The Warriors always are just going to run and run and run and run and run it down your throat.
Yep.
Hey, New Hope, Soulbury, 2 weeks ago they couldn't even play a game. They had to forfeit for injuries. It's a tough situation to be in. Yes, the record, people look at the record and go, oh, it's 2-8, 8-2. Yep, that's what's going to happen. Bristol is going to run away with this one.
I don't know much about Bristol except for it's really small. Their colors are, I think, red and white. That's my knowledge of Bristol football. Bristol by a lot. I hate to say it because it's from one team they're going to beat, but it's all them. All right, Mayhem, all you. What do you think?
I do. I like these picks, man. I really do. We only disagreed really on the one picks. Now, next week's going to be fun to talk about. All right, insiders. That's all we have time for this week. I hope you loved episode 9 as much as we did making it. I do want to take the time, if you're looking for any advertising or just want to talk ball with us, hit us up at suburban1insider@gmail.com. It's right down here on the screen. So tune in next week for playoff recaps and some special guests. I'm Coach Mayhem.
And I'm OG. Insiders out.